Hey everybody, Crystal Gamer here, and welcome to my channel and to a video on the Sims 4 Realm of Magic Familiars. Now, if you're a spellcaster, you can have familiars to protect you from dying from magical overcharges, and well, if we're being honest, just because a lot of them are pretty freaking cute. So as you can see, these familiars come in orbs, and once you find or buy these orbs, you can bind the familiar in the orb to your sim. Now, I've got them laid out in most common to least common order, so don't be surprised if it takes a little while to find the familiars at the end of the line. If you do see any of those last 3 or 4 show up in the shop in Caster's Alley, definitely buy them right away because they may not show up again for quite a while. Speaking of, where and how do you get familiars? Well, if you do your magical training in the magical realm at the magical headquarters, you will find a couple show up there for free, which is nice because they can get a little pricey, especially on the higher end. And speaking of, you can also go to Caster's Alley in the magical realm and visit the shop that sells familiars. Now, shop wares change on occasion. Usually they have maybe 3 familiars at once, and then they'll change up. So continue to come back until you collect them all. If, of course, you want to collect them all. Okay, so what do these little guys look like and what do we do to bind them and all of that stuff? Right now, I have the little owl. This is the Sixum owl. This is what he looks like. Very cute, right? And my sim also has an orb in her inventory. So she has the fairy orb or the familiar orb of the fairy here. So if we want to bind this, all we have to do is click it and say bind familiar. It'll come up with the name. We can either keep the name or change it. I'm just going to keep this name for right now. And we click OK. Now, we don't get anything besides that, but if we click on her and we go to Magic and we go to Familiars and then we say Summon Familiar, she'll do a little whoop-de-woo with the wand, and here we come up with our list of familiars. And as you can see, she has pretty much every type of familiar bound to her, including her cat. And this is the familiar we just bound. So we can click on that and there he is. And he's a fairy familiar, so he kind of drips a little fairy dust or whatnot there. Now, if we want to get rid of him, we just click on her and we go to familiars and we can either dismiss familiar or unbind familiar. Now, if we go to her and we say dismiss familiar, this will just make the familiar go away temporarily. It will keep the familiar in her inventory of familiars, though. It will stay bound to her. If we want to get rid of the familiar completely, we go to unbind familiar. And then once we click unbind familiar, it actually lets us select. So it doesn't necessarily get rid of the familiar we have. It lets us select from there. Now I'm going to get rid of the one we just bound because she already has a fairy familiar up here. So, all right, so I'm going to unbind that. If we go back to our inventory, we can see that that orb is back in our inventory. And I'll click play and we'll watch him disappear. And make a cute little noise on his way out. Now, to see some of the other familiars, we'll just click summon and I'll show you the rest of the familiars. So this is the little dragon guy. He's adorable with the little smoke puffs coming out of his nose. And you don't have to unsummon them to summon a new one. I can just say summon familiar, and once I summon a new one, I'll summon this one here. The dragon goes away and there's the leaf bat. And the leaf bat is one of the cutest. Oh my goodness, I just love him. He's one of my favorites. And now go to the next one, which I think was the fairy, which we've already seen. Oh, no, the butterfly. The butterfly is interesting. It looks a little bit like a mouse or something to me. Or maybe, what are those little animals? The little chinchillas? Because his ears are a little bit bigger, maybe? I don't know, but he's kind of cute. Next up, we did the fairy, we saw the owl in the beginning, so we have the glow frog. And the glow frog's cute too. That was I put him on the introduction. He's kind of cute too. He's very glowy. He's very glowy. So next up, just so you can see them all, we have the hex doll. The hex doll is the least cute one to me. This to me would be very good for an evil witch or something like that, I'm thinking. And next up, and just so you know, if you have a lot of familiars like this and you go through one at a time and do what I'm doing, you may overcharge your magic. I have a sim that is uber powerful magic wise. This is the Raven here. So because she's so powerful magic wise, she has one of the properties where she cannot overcharge. She can't die from overcharging. So actually familiars for her are basically just because they're cute and whatnot. This is the Phoenix. Look at how cool the Phoenix is. I love that one. But yeah, you have to watch your charge. Otherwise, this little spellcaster charge will tell you where you are charge-wise. But like I say, she's so powerful that we don't have to worry about her overcharging. But if you do have this many familiars and you summon one right after the other, you very well may overcharge. So just be aware of that. And she's starting to do that thing going around her. I believe that would be showing me that she's close to overcharge if she could actually overcharge. So this is the Skull familiar. I call this guy Bob the Skull because I read the Dresden Files and Harry Dresden has a skull named Bob. So me with my originality, just stealing from other people. If you don't read the Dresden Files and you're looking for a good series, by the way, that's a really great series. And then we have the Velid. So he's kind of cute too. He's sort of like an interesting looking little creature. I think he might be one of the void creatures. I don't know. I've heard people call a lot of these void creatures. And I think that we have covered all of them. Yeah, except her cat. Now, if you have, her cat is not with her right now. Her cat is back at home. But if you have a cat or a dog that's a familiar, when you look at these, you can see these little sparks around the familiars. The cat or dog will spark. It will not fly behind you like these familiars will, but the cat or dog will have that little sparkle about them if you bind them to you as familiars, and you'll be able to see that. So that's how you can know with that. And I think I have covered all of the important familiar stuff. If I click rename, it goes in. I can rename there. And I think that pretty much covers all of the important stuff having to do with familiars. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions, anything that I didn't cover, please don't hesitate to ask below in the comments. And also don't forget to check out my other Realm of Magic videos. I have some on how to start becoming a spellcaster, how to eliminate curses, build buy stuff, just a whole bunch of Realm of Magic videos and other Sims videos in general. So don't forget to check that stuff out. And thanks so much for spending the time with me today. Hope to see you all back again next time. Bye now.